What's up, guys? It's your pal Smingo here, and I just want to talk about the website and, as you guessed, being hacked. Uh, I discovered this the month of July that somebody had gained access to my admin account on WordPress. So in this video, I'm going to talk about that, what I didn't have set up so that I would have noticed that something was going on until I logged in. Um, I want to talk about what you can do to prevent it and what actually happened. So, we'll start from the beginning, and that was whenever I was trying to log in to fulltechpodcast.com using my admin account. Uh, so I couldn't get in, obviously. The password was changed. I, at this point, I don't know how they got in. I'm guessing it was a brute force, cause let's see, I can show what they done. What when I really noticed, and that's when I regained access to my SQL server. So they started creating a bunch of accounts. I don't know why. Uh, it didn't really look like they'd done anything too malicious. The good thing I did have set up on my web server, and why they didn't completely take over everything, they actually took over two websites. They took over another one I ran, and fulltechpodcast.com. So, this is what happened. What kind of attack was it? After they got in, they started adding a bunch of shells. So backdoor shells. So what is a backdoor shell? A backdoor shell is a malicious piece of code. This is the one I had, PHP, that can be uploaded to a site to gain access files stored on that site. Once it is uploaded, the hacker can use it to edit, delete, or download any files to the site or upload their own. So this is what happened. I got the WordPress shell, so you can actually get this on, if you go to github.com/backdoor hub, this is what they done. This was in a PHP header, this right here. So I ran this through ChatGPT because it's obviously just, it's doing something. And there's a thing called PHP Beautify, and it'll actually break it down more, I think, in a video I watched. But this was in the index PHP of the root folder of Full Tech Podcast. So luckily, the good thing is I actually had 2FA set up on my web server, and you can do that on Ubuntu. That's what I use, Ubuntu. You can do it on CentOS, whatever you're running your Apache server on. So, something I messed up on here was, one, web server was out of date or end of. So, yes, so the web server was actually out of date since April. I didn't realize this, but it was on 18 LTS Ubuntu, and it actually ran out this year. So January, February, March, April, it ran out the fourth month this year, and it wasn't getting no updates. That was bad. I don't think they actually done anything though, as I only have, and we'll talk about that too. But you only allow SSH, HTTP, and HTTPS on your web server. Number two thing was I didn't have no 2FA on the website, and we'll talk about that too. So now I do have 2FA, and it is a plugin that you can download called WordFence, and it will block stuff all day long. I have this installed. I had this installed on other websites. Never did have the 2FA activated, but it blocks like SQL injections, all kinds of fun stuff like that. But yeah, it's probably worth getting the premium if you want to, but there's also another thing I forgot to do on the web server, and that's install no fail to ban. So mostly on lamp stacks, you are supposed to install Feldeban, and it bans SSH IP addresses that you don't normally see. It'll put them in jail, and they won't be able to keep brute forcing your web server. Now, I want to say that I don't think they actually got into the web server. I didn't see nothing like that. Let's see, but I did pull a log of how many attempts I was getting attacked. Let's see, where's it at? It was kind of crazy. I did pull logs. It looks like it was July 25th when this happened. So not only was they, let's see, I'll just copy this. Let's do a new one. So this right here is the logs I pulled the 25th. You can see they're just trying like crazy to get in. Uh, Good thing I had 2FA and they never got in that way. But they did take over my admin account. They could have posted anything on the website um, that they wanted. They didn't. I don't know what they was really trying to get. They didn't, as far as I know, they didn't get anything. So what did I do after I figured this out? And let's see. I'm gonna show you the main attack. It was this. It's called a shell. It's called a backdoor shell, and this is a r57 PHP file. And what they do is they upload this, and let's see. You can actually get, you can do stuff like this. They can do all this in the www whatever website they've took over, basically. Especially if you're hosting different ones, this is where they can do all this kind of stuff right here. So this is some guy talking about on Medium.com, and they done the WordPress and they done R57. They also done one more thing. Let's see if I can find it here. Is they installed? Let's see, can you guys see this? Let's see. So they done one more thing, and they installed a plugin called CMS Map. So I'm guessing you can So if you gain access to a web or WordPress site and you have access with that shell, you can pretty much do anything you want with plugins in the folder structure because that's how it's made to even run. This is thing I pulled. This is a picture. This is not, but this is where. Like you can download this right here. All this stuff's free on the internet. This is what's even scarier about this. But yeah, CMS attacking targets without prior mutual consent is legal. Like this is even saying what it does. This is a simple WordPress shell. So they was trying to do this too. So now we can talk about what I did to get back into the server and take it back over without taking everything down and just restoring a backup. Backup should be your last resort, but that's number one thing. Things you should do. Backup. You should always have a backup. No matter what. You should have a backup, and the site I use, I pay monthly for weekly backups. So every weekend the site's backed up. Unfortunately, it's not backed up every day. So like if something you put out on the website, it doesn't get backed up that day. But weekly backups way better than no backups. So backup. Always have a backup. In just case you can't get into something. So what else did I have to do? I had to do, let's see, things you should do and things I did to recover. All right, so one, I logged into the MySQL and took back over my account. Now, so how do you do that? You should know your SQL passwords, how to get into it, like using PHP my admin, or you can use this one called adminer. It wasn't bad. Adminer. Actually, my PHP was broke. PHP admin was broke, and I had to install this. I had to FTP this too. the web server and load this up, and I logged in and I changed my password. Now you do MD5 password. So you have to say you want a certain password. This is a password 123 exclamation. So you actually want the MD5 hash, and that's where it goes into. Let's see, where did we have that one at? You actually have to have this is the hash. So you can't really tell what this is, but see, they changed this all to the same. Those guys, they're everyone the same password. So whatever they changed it to is exact same hash. This one's different for whatever reason. Um, Not sure why, but they changed this hash all to the same. So this is the exact same password. And this is the only thing you can see as a hash. So you have to change it to a hash uh, so you can log back in on the SQL side, because that's how it stores passwords. So there's your little knowledge of how that works. So I took back over. Another thing I did was grab my files, grabbed all my folder onto main PC and scanned. I grabbed all the files, folders, and I put it on my computer, and it started going crazy with it started detecting all these other PHP files, because it was going to take me forever to try to figure out where all these files were at. So it started going crazy, saying that there wasn't no virus. I mean, it's a PHP file. It's not going to automatically run because there's no web server on my computer. There's nothing there. Like PHP is not installed on my computer, so obviously it's not going to do anything, and it's not actually out in the open to the internet. Anyway, it started scanning that, started telling me where everything was at. I deleted that. I actually reinstalled WordPress, and so that's the next thing you should do. Fresh install of WordPress. So you still keep your content PHP file or config. You can keep that. Just make sure it's clean. You probably want to go through it thoroughly just to make sure everything's good. So I installed fresh WordPress, fresh everything. I, took all these other files I thought was malicious out and just fresh plugins, fresh everything. Uh, another thing is another thing I did to recover after I done the passwords was I had to, do file and folder permissions again on web server. So you have to do your change mod, change own, so your files and folders work again on the web, or they're just not going to work with WordPress. It's just how it is. Things you should do: install WordFence on WordPress. It's almost required these days because passwords are just about obsolete. And this also would have given me a better understanding of what happened. If I would have had some monitoring software running, I would have been able to tell exactly what happened. Now, I'm just kind of guessing that I got brute forced because I don't have a simple password. So I don't think it's not a super crazy hard password, but I think it was over 12. So if you're not, let's see, let me bring this up. This is 2023, and this is from Hive Systems. So this kind of gives you an idea of how long it takes to brute force something. So even if you have 12 and this number's only, it's instant. Lowercase letters, 2 minutes. Uppercase and lowercase letters, 7 days. If you don't have a special number in there, like 12 used to be like hard to do. Now it's getting to 8 months, guys. Like they could be just brute forcing for 8 months and get in. If you use 12, that's upper and lowercase symbols, so special characters. So it looks like the new standard is 13 numbers, upper and lowercase letters. And the stronger computers get, the faster this is going to be. Like, even if you have 18 numbers, it takes 26 minutes. So if you have 18, you have an 18 character password with numbers, upper and lowercase letters, and symbols, it's going to take 79 billion years. So This is just going to get stronger, faster. I mean, it's still taking computers quite a while to be able to do that obviously, but I mean, 8 months for a 12 character password now is kind of insane to me. Like, it's getting to the point where you can't even, you just have to use a password database. That's another thing you should do. Generate a password and use KeyPass or a password database. So use that to log in. It shouldn't be something anybody could guess at this point because you just get brute forced for the most part. I think I've covered just about everything, but I just want to say like this has been a learning experience, and even I'm not by any means a tech guru. I enjoy technology, and of course, this can happen to anybody, including myself, somebody that runs a technology website. Uh, so another thing you should do is keep your web server up to date. Keep web server up up to date, and on latest LTS. So now the web server is actually on 22.04, I think LTS. So that's good. Failed abandoned installed. Um, Everything has been restored. Everything's working good. Web servers appear to be safe. Now, this is not going to prevent everything. Like I said, the only thing that protects you from just about anything is backups. Backups are probably the most important thing ever right now. Just like if you get crypto locked on your Windows computer, you got to have a backup or your stuff's just gone or you're just going to pay money. That could have happened. They could have probably bitlocked everything, but they didn't. I don't know how that would work on a web server, but they could have done that. They could have put some kind of encryption on the files or something if they wanted to, I suppose, or done something to the database. It doesn't appear that's what happened. Everything's been cleared out. All the malicious accounts, everything's been flushed. Um, if there's anything you guys want to add down below in the comment section, be sure to let me know. You can follow me over on Twitter at the Smingo. You can check up on me there. I'd really like for a lot more people to join the Discord. Like our Discord is growing here and there. There's more people that's loving video games and loves technology, so that's kind of what we're going for here. Uh, and this is like ChatGPT. Obviously, it's just getting easier to do stuff, but you don't have a clue what's going on. It even helps. I use ChatGPT all the time, but it's just getting easier and easier to do stuff. And like I said, you can download these shells all for free on GitHub. All these are free. This is exactly, let's see, the WordPress. This was exactly in my header when I looked at it. I still don't really have a clue what it does. I put it in ChatGPT. I was like, "Can you decipher what this does?" It just said it was malicious. So, like I said, there's a PHP beautifier. Let me see if I can bring it up. I don't know if this will do it or not. We'll try it. See, it's still even. It's still doing something. It's trying to connect to my SQL there. What is it? I mean, it's doing all kinds of things. Function exists. Like there's some hidden code in this. Is what they're kind of masking it, and this is kind of stuff that is just crazy. Like I don't even know what half of this stuff means. It's doing something. It's like calling to a certain function or something to do something else. It's about all I can tell. But I hope this helps you guys learn a little bit. I know this has been a bad experience, but it's been a learning experience too on how to properly try to host a web server. It is if you're hosting something that's on the internet, it's constantly getting attacked 24/7, I believe, by bots because they're trying to take over and try to make a botnet. That's just kind of the nature of the beast around here. So, 2FA things you should do. 2FA on SSH login. 1000% do that too. You need 2FA on your webs when you log into your web WordPress. You need 2FA on your SSH login now. It's about the only way you're going to be protected. Come to find out. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time here on Full Tech.